Are you a high performing real estate investor who's looking to further elevate your performance? If so, download our free guide, Raising the Bar 5 Steps to Elevate Your Habits, by joining our insider network at elevatepod.com. This guide, created by yours truly, has the power to put your transformation on autopilot and exponentially change your trajectory. Go get your free copy now at elevatepod.com.
Welcome to Elevate, the masterclass where we dissect the elements of exceptional achievement and lifestyle design with a focus on personal growth and real estate investing. Now, here's your host, Tyler Chesser.
Elevate Nation, welcome back. This is Tyler Chesser. I'm so thankful to have you here, and I am excited, blessed, and grateful to be sitting with you, me, myself, and I, on another edition of Elevate Exclusive with Tyler. I am super pumped about this topic because it is the central theme of my life. It's a central theme of my success, whether it's in real estate, in fulfillment in my life, in my enjoyment, and so forth. And that is building a world-class network, that is building relationships. The central theme to my success in real estate, my success in business, and so forth is here. This is what it's all about. And this all, a lot of stuff that we talk about on Elevate really feeds into this, but I'm excited to talk to you about building a world-class network and why that's so important. Give you some tips on how you can do that yourself, how you can take your network to the next level and beyond. So let's start with, why is this important? Why is building a world-class network so important? Whether it is in your local market, whether it's in your state, whether it's in your province, wherever you live, or whether it's internationally, whether it's across the country, whether it's globally, why is it so important to build a world-class network? First thing I'd like to do is I'd like to reference one of my favorite books of all time. It's called Never Eat Alone. I'm holding it up here for all the people who are watching on YouTube. Never Eat Alone by Keith Ferrazzi. Oh my gosh, I love this book so much. I read this book like 5 or 6 years ago, and it's still on my top 10, still one of the top 10 best books I've ever read. And if you know me, you know I read a lot. And I can tell you that this book is a game changer. It's a life changer. There's so much practical tips and wisdom here for people who want to build a world-class network. And it's critically important. It's the central theme to growth in real estate. And so here are the reasons why building a world-class network are so important. Today, number one, Keith Ferrazzi says this. He says, today's most valuable currency is social capital, defined as the information, expertise, trust, and total value that exists in the relationships you have and social networks to which you belong. That is so important. That's so powerful. And if you think about it, today's most valuable currency is social capital. And as he defines it there, that's a critically important piece for us to understand. And he also says that success in life equals the people that you meet plus what you create together. So I just love that so much. And it really, it illustrates to us how important this is. And what he also says is that your network is your destiny, a reality backed up by many studies in the newly emergent fields of social networking and social contagion theory. We are the people we interact with. Our paychecks, our moods, the health of our hearts, the size of our bellies, all of these things are determined by whom we choose to interact with and how. And so, of course, we know that if you want to get deals, if you want to find deals, if you want to execute on deals, if you want to maximize your real estate deals and so forth, it comes down to relationships. But it's more important than just that, right? There's so much more, and exactly what Keith just described there in the book. We can go on and on about everything that he talks about in this book, but I just want to highly encourage that you go pick it up. We'll put a link in the show notes as to how you can do that. But I think there's a few things here. The first thing you want to do is, obviously, we want to understand how important this is. And we also want to understand, if the critical theme is building relationships and our success in life, well, how can we be successful in building relationships? And of course, there's many philosophies and principles that we'll point to here, and I'll try to point to in this quick hitter episode to you. But I think the first thing we've got to do is we've got to take an inventory of how can we add value to someone else? Because I believe that that's the basis of building a relationship, is giving to others, adding more value or giving more value than you expect in return. I think that's such an important distinction that we start there. So let's start with understanding, well, what is my added value to others? What are my strengths? What's my personality, and how does my brain work, right? Because we're all unique, which is a beautiful thing. Every single one of us is unique, and we have our own strengths and talents. and things that we bring to the table. So it's great to start there, because if the basis of building relationships come down to adding value to others, well, let's understand, well, what value can we add to others? What is our value? And you can actually really get practical on this. You can do personality assessments. I don't know if you've taken a look at the Myers-Briggs. It's a great personality assessment to understand really what you are to the basis and the core of your personality, and how that shows up in how you interact with other people, how you interact with problems, how you solve problems, and so forth. Of course, the DISC profile is another important one. So this is about being aware of yourself and then taking an inventory. You could even ask other people, hey, well, what do you think are my unique skills? What do you think my unique abilities are? And, starting there. And of course, we want to be authentic. We want to think about how can we really serve others. And it's not always about, hey, I'm the best underwriter here, or all of these other things that you learn about during your personality assessments and so forth. But it's about being authentic and truly giving and listening to others. But taking an inventory is important. Taking an inventory of your existing network is also important. Who is in your life right now? Or who do you want to know? Maybe they're not in your network, but maybe you know of them. Maybe they know of you. Maybe you want to strike a relationship together. Take an inventory of who do you know now, right? What nodes are you a part of, right? You think about a network, you are a node, right? You know a certain set of people who then know a certain set of other people. And if you think about the 2 degrees, I don't know if it's 2 or 3 degrees of separation, but I believe that we're all connected in some way within 2 or 3 degrees of separation across 8 billion people in this world. It's really, really powerful to consider how nodes are interconnected. And as we continue forward, we think about building relationships. I want you to really think about relationships in a transformational perspective. We've talked about transformational relationships on this podcast many times, and you can think of it in 2 different ways, right? There's opposites. Transactional is the opposite to transformational. I want to get to know you and build a relationship with you because you will help me get this next deal, or because you will help me, maximize my revenue on my deal, or you will help me sell my deal for the most profit, or you will help me find this, that, and the other. That's transactional. Transformational means because we know each other, we're both better off forever. We transform as a result of knowing each other. And so I want everyone to really think and focus on how can I be a part of transformational relationships, because that's the type of network that we want to design and build and really step into in our life. And I think that that's a really, really important distinction. And it's something that I try to focus on. And I just want to bring it back to the forefront for you. And because, networking, it's like this, it can be a dirty word. Sometimes you think about networking and you picture the guy walking around at the networking event, throwing business cards at you left and right. It's like, man, I didn't even talk to this guy and he gave me his business card. And it's like, I don't even know anything about you. Why are you giving me your business card? I have no interest in doing business with someone that just is there in it for themselves. So what can you do to be a part of playing the long game, building trust and real connections? That's what transformational relationships are all about, not transactional, because to me, that's the most valuable. We think about social capital. That's how you build and compound on social capital. There's a few things I've got to, how I do. I love quotes, right? I got a Keith Ferrazzi quote. He says, the currency of real networking is not greed, but generosity. And I think that's the central theme of transformational relationships. Being transformational is all about giving. It's about giving more than you expected. I've got a few tips, and I'm going to give you a set of other tips here as we wrap up this episode. But a few things. Number one, listen, right? You got to listen to someone else. Listen to what is it that's important to them? What are they all about? What are their goals? What are the things that they, dream of and aspire to become and create in their own life? What is it that they're scared of? What is it that they're lacking? What is it that they're, most challenged with right now? Listen and follow through, by the way, because it's not always going to be things like that as it relates to business, but it may be, hey, you learn more about their kids or their family, or, what things they like to do outside of building their real estate business or building their business in general, right? Listen and follow through. I like to send handwritten thank you notes. I send handwritten thank you notes to every single guest that we have on this podcast. And it's something that I try to really repeat because it stands out, right? And I can follow through. But there's other better ways that you can even follow through, and just remembering things that are important to people, right? Listen and follow through. The other thing I mentioned this earlier is give first and always. And here's a lesson that one of my mentors gave me a long time ago, and I love it, and it's still relevant for me today, is to always buy lunch, always buy lunch, always buy coffee. If you're meeting with someone and maybe you never met with them before, or maybe you've known them for a long time, always buy, take the bill and pay it yourself. And that's one of those things that compounds as well. Share your expertise. What is it that you know about, whether it's a deal in the marketplace, an insider information, or maybe it's something that you read recently. Maybe it's has nothing to do with real estate. Maybe it has nothing to do with business, but share your expertise. What is it that you're developing that's valuable, and be valuable to valuable people? That's how you really build deep in transformational relationships. That's how you start to really strengthen a world-class network, because then people start to talk. They're like, man, this individual is really, adding a ton of value from their expertise, and that's amazing. But connect others. Here's another one: connect other people. This is such an awesome one, because you know what? That's the beautiful thing. We're 2 or 3 degrees separation between any human being on this planet. No matter who it is, we can get connected if we really, give, right? And so what can you do to connect someone else? When you listen to someone else and you start to understand, well, what are the challenges or what are the aspirations that they have? Start to think about, who do you know that might be able to help them? And we've talked about who, not how, so much in this podcast. And that philosophy is really the central theme of connecting others. Who does this person need to get to their how, to get to their outcome? And be willing to be generous in how you connect other people. And, one of the things that I like to do is I like to go to events. I like to go to meetups. I like to go to conferences, but I want to encourage you to not only attend events yourself, but attend selectively, right? Don't go to every event, because you've got a bandwidth, right? You've got things that you want to accomplish. You've got, time that you want to recover, time to spend with family, smell the roses and so forth. But when you do go to those events, come prepared, right? Who might be attending these events, and what might you need to know about them, and how might you be able to follow up with some of these people? And so I think it's important to attend, but also come prepared to these events. Also, you can host events. One of the things that we do at CF Capital is we host a monthly multifamily meetup. And by the way, we encourage you to join us. Some of the times we're on Zoom, sometimes we're in person. So if you're in our market, we'd love to have you. But if you attend a meetup, or even really host a meetup, or host a small gathering, maybe it's a more intimate gathering around a certain set of people that you want to know better. And you can even coalesce, 5 to 6 people for a dinner. Maybe that happens once a month. Maybe that happens once a week. Maybe that's every other week. But host an event. And because if you want to be in the room, maybe you just need to create the room, right? So think about hosting events. Think about bringing that room together. And, the other things, some of the things that I'm super passionate about when it comes to networking is being a part of high level groups. Myself and Evan Holiday, shout out to Evan Holiday, we host a high level mastermind that's called the Quantum Mastermind. And it's all about high level people looking to go to the next level, looking to expand their life, looking to transform their life, their business, their health, their wealth, their fitness. These are people who are looking to be the best of the best, so that they can give, so that they can be more, so that they can do more, so that they can live more. And so I love being a part of masterminds. I love surrounding myself with other people who are driven, who are excited, who are passionate. But you have to be cognizant of who are you spending your time with, and joining a high level group like a mastermind is one of the ways to do that, right? You want to think about entrepreneurs, investors, people who are perhaps really looking to challenge themselves through a coaching program. So if there's other coaching programs that you want to be a part of, this is a great way to network. So these are some tactics, right? The other thing too, right? We live in the digital age. So think about social media, think about technology. How can you optimize and magnetize your social media? What is it that you can do to leverage this beautiful piece of technology, rather than being this cog in this wheel and being used by social media? Use it so that it can allow you to leverage not only your impact on other people, but your influence in the marketplace. So just a few other things here. I'm going to give you a few tips and then I'll wrap up, because I think there's so much gold here. Number 1, build your network before you need it. Build your network before you need it. You might say, well, I think I've got enough people in my circle. I think I'm good. But I'm going to tell you right now that if the number one value in the planet is social capital, think about how you can build your network before you need it and expand that, and think bigger, because we can connect with anyone across this globe, and you can build true relationships with anyone across this globe. So build your network before you need it. Number two, do your homework. Do your homework on other people before you meet them. Think about, who is it that I really want to know? Who is it that I really want to know? And why do I want to know about them? And how can I learn more about them before I meet them? And how can I blow them away? Number three, always have a mindset of helping other people be more successful. At the end of the day, that's the central theme of transformational relationships, helping other people be more successful. Number four, leverage technology. Leverage technology. Use email, use text, use social media. If you have an email list, allow that to help you build relationships and leverage your influence on other people. Use social media to your advantage, and don't consume, create and connect. And number five, the last and final tip that I have for you here is go the extra mile. Go the extra mile. I'm going to wrap up with a quick quote by Zig Ziglar, who said, "You can have everything you want in your life as long as you help enough other people get what they want." And I'll say that one more time. You can have everything you want in life if you will just help enough other people get what they want. And again, that's by the great Zig Ziglar. Your network is your net worth. And as your network expands, so do your opportunities. Elevate Nation, I just want to thank you so much for tuning in. And I hope this was valuable for you. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe to Elevate Podcast. Until next time, Elevate Nation, thank you so much, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you for listening to Elevate. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to rate, review, subscribe, and pay it forward by sharing with a friend. Most importantly, take this opportunity to elevate your results by taking immediate action on what you learned. For more, visit elevatepod.com.